morning. Um, and can y'all see my screen? Is it this? Okay, I think I have to maybe reshare it. Can you see the PowerPoint
Yes,
presentation?
I can see it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you all for being here today. My name is Catherine Gallier. I go by Kat, and I'm the Senior Program Specialist for the Double Up program. I work with all the farmers markets, farm hubs, farm stands that run Double Up, just providing all the information that's needed to be successful with the program. And then when you are running the program, am the one that reviews the monthly reports and invoices to make sure that they're correct, and then sends them on to our finance team here at Hunger Free to issue the reimbursements. And so we'll start. Since Double Up is a program that is very closely linked with SNAP benefits, wanted to give an update on where we're at with the SNAP situation and the government shutdown. So we did this, one of these webinars a week ago, and already everything has changed. So this is up to date as of noon today. Um, Earlier this week, Oklahoma began issuing partial SNAP benefits to households based on an allotment that was issued by the USDA. That guidance is a pretty complex formula, and so it's not as straightforward. You might have heard that the households are receiving 65% of their regular amount, but it's not that straightforward. There's a lot of other stuff that went into the calculation. So even with that, the calculation, some households still got zero for the partial benefits. But fortunately, the Senate passed an agreement on Monday night to reopen the government, and on Wednesday, the House passed that agreement, and then the president signed it. So the government will reopen, and this agreement extends government funding through January 30th, 2026. But more importantly, it also protects SNAP and other critical programs for the full fiscal year. And so if the government were to shut down again on January 30th, SNAP wouldn't be at risk like it was this time. It is funded through September of next year. Um, and so since the government is reopening, all SNAP households will receive their full November benefit. The ones that were paid a, a partial amount will receive the rest of it retroactively. And the ones that received zero based on the partial calculations will receive their regular benefit amount. The timing on that is kind of uncertain still. The state is already working to make those changes and to issue those benefits. So it may happen as quickly as within the next 24 hours, but it could come as late as Monday. Um, but just know that they will be coming for those households. And so some of the long-term takeaway and action from this whole shutdown and situation is the food banks and pantries are going to remain busy. They were already seeing an increase before the shutdown with getting close to the holiday season, and there's a lot of families that are struggling right now, needing some additional help. So they're going to remain busy for quite some time. We also want to encourage people to stay involved. Like just because the SNAP situation is resolved right now doesn't mean that folks should stop paying attention to what's happening. Um, Stay involved in urging our federal delegation to find a solution for future shutdowns that avoid
I got 5 more
um,
minutes.
these
5 more minutes.
benefits being held hostage in the future. And then also urging our state legislators to have a better plan with emergency funds if this were to happen again in the future is also important. So just wanted to give that update and address that before moving into the purpose of today's webinar, which is to talk about Double Up Oklahoma. Double Up Oklahoma is a program of Hunger Free Oklahoma. And so Hunger Free is a nonprofit organization that has a few different focus areas on advocacy, policy, research, and practice that all center around collaboration. And, the ultimate goal is working to ensure that all Oklahomans have enough food every day. And so the intended audience for today's webinar is farmers markets, farmers market hubs, and farm stands that have accepted SNAP for at least 1 year, or markets that will qualify after accepting SNAP for 1 year. And also markets that use a central terminal model, which is just that the EBT machine that runs the SNAP transactions at the market is located either at the market booth if you're set up like a traditional farmer's market, or if you're more of a farm hub, farm stand setup, it's located at the checkout stand. It's not, our model for Double Up doesn't work when multiple different vendors in the same location have their own individual EBT machines. And so the objectives of today's webinar is to introduce Double Up Oklahoma and the requirements for farm direct locations, to give information if you want to make an informed decision about applying to participate in Duo, and preparing you for the application process. And then a bit later, we're going to have a Q&A with some current Duo farmers market managers to share their perspective and experience about the program as well. Okay, so Double Up Oklahoma, like I said, is a program of Hunger Free Oklahoma. Duo is a nutrition incentive program that matches the value of SNAP benefits when they're spent at participating farmers markets or farm direct locations and grocery stores, and it matches SNAP dollar for dollar up to $20 a day. Um, Double Up is primarily funded by a federal USDA grant, but with this grant, we are also required to have matching funders. And so here's a list of some of our other program funders. It's a bit of a mix between some state funding through TSET and then some private funding through these donors that are listed here. And then why offer Duo? And so we say the Duo is a win-win-win because it allows families and households to purchase and prepare healthy foods at farmers markets and farm direct locations. When those Double Up tokens are spent with local vendors, it keeps sales and profits local and boosts the economy, and therefore it also strengthens the community as a whole. Okay, so operating Duo at farm direct firms, and when it says farm direct, that just means farmers markets, farm stands, farm hubs, mobile markets, that type of location. It all falls under farm direct. And it will work depending on which location you have. It might work a little bit different, but the overall model will remain the same. So like I said earlier, a dollar spent in SNAP at participating locations earns a dollar in Double Up tokens or bucks up to $20 a day, and that can be redeemed on fresh fruits and vegetables. This here is an example of one of the flyers that we offer. We'll look at some more marketing and outreach materials later, but we offer these, and this one breaks it down with both grocery stores and farmers markets, but we do have some more farm direct specific materials as well. At farm direct locations that use the central terminal model, and especially this one is specifically for farmers markets, but the SNAP shopper will take their EBT card to the info booth and they will swipe it in exchange for SNAP tokens, or other farmers markets do like a total SNAP transaction based on a receipt that they get from a vendor. But either way it works. The SNAP is matched with Duo up to $20 a day. At Farm Direct location, we use tokens as the Duo I guess, incentive form. And so then SNAP users can take their Duo tokens and they can go spend their Duo tokens to buy eligible produce with Duo vendors. And if your market uses SNAP tokens, then they would take their SNAP tokens and purchase SNAP eligible products with those vendors. How the reimbursement works is here on the left, once the vendor receives their Duo tokens, they will turn those into the market manager. And then the market manager takes those Duo tokens, they count them, and they record the amounts on some tracking sheets that we provide. And you'll submit those sheets in a report form to Hunger Free once a month. I'm the one that will review those sheets and all the reports for accuracy. And then once it's approved, we send the farmers market a reimbursement, either in the form of check or ACH payment directly to your market bank account. And you take that reimbursement funds and pay your vendors for the amount of Duo tokens that they accepted. And so Duo eligible produce at farm direct locations is any produce that is fresh or frozen, canned or dried. Um, it also allows fresh herbs and plants that grow food. The stipulation is that it just can't have any additives such as salt, sugar, oil, or fat. So obviously the most common type of eligible items are going to be your fresh fruits and vegetables, but we would also allow freeze-dried or traditionally dried produce, so long as it doesn't have any additives. Um, we do allow if the produce is processed by it being cut. I actually don't know if farmers markets are allowed to do that now that I'm thinking of it, but at grocery stores um, Duo bucks can be spent on cut produce as well. But I'm thinking that farmers markets can't cut the produce. Um, for farm direct locations, we require that all of the Duo eligible products are either grown within the state of Oklahoma, or if your market is near a border state, at least within 100 miles of the market location. That is our definition of local for this program. And so some of the responsibilities we ask of the market manager are here. The general responsibilities are managing the token inventory or any other approved incentive to run double up, and also keeping those records that I talked about, the customer transaction records and the vendor reimbursement records. Um, the market manager responsibility to their vendors would be to recruit and to train their vendors on what Double Up Oklahoma is and ensure that their vendors follow all the program rules, and then to also pay their vendors for the Duo sales that they have. Their responsibility to customers would be to promote Duo and to oversee the token distribution, and then to keep those daily records. And reporting responsibilities are to track the required metrics, submit those reports to Hunger Free monthly, and then send the invoice to us as well. So some of the required metrics that we track are for SNAP, we track the dollar the dollar value of SNAP purchased and redeemed. Um, at farmers markets that use tokens, I'm sure those of you that are on this call know that not all of the SNAP tokens that go out are redeemed. In a perfect world, it would be, but sometimes there's some people hold on to tokens for a different day and maybe end up losing them. So we track the value of what is given to customers and then what is actually redeemed to the vendors. This will be a little bit different if you're a farm stand or hub, because if you have your EBT machine at the checkout, then your dollar value of SNAP purchased and redeemed will always match each other, because there's no tokens that are floating around that may not come back. It's just the end value of the EBT transaction for the day. Also counting the number of SNAP transactions and counting unique SNAP customers. And then for Duo, since we do use those tokens, we track the dollar value of Duo tokens issued and Duo tokens redeemed. Again, the number of Duo transactions and unique Duo customers. And then we track some uh, other market metrics, such as the total operating days you had throughout the month, total operating hours, and then your number of fruits and vegetable vendors that attended the market each day. And so this is what the customer transaction record that we provide looks like as it's filled out. Um, the main areas that we'll focus on for the required metrics part is going to be these first three well, not this first one. This first one's optional, but these, the second, third, fourth, and fifth column here. Um, and then this information at the top is where you can track the number of vendors and kind of the hours for the month. Um, but yeah, we use for Duo, we to meet or to make sure that customers aren't getting more than their $20 a day limit, we do have a unique identifier that kind of makes it easy when keeping these customer transactions to look back. Some markets are maybe small enough, or the person that's operating the information booth has a good recall, and so they would know if a customer came back more than once. But if you have a larger market or switch out folks that help out at the info tent, this second column, the unique identifier, is just a way to help track that, okay, this first person right here, they came once and they received 10 Snap and 10 Duo, but then they came back a bit later and they asked for 40 more tokens off their Snap card. But since they already received 10 earlier, they can only receive 10 more Duo for the day. And so this is an example of what that would look like filled out. And then at the bottom here, you would total the value of SNAP, the total value of Duo. If you participate in any other programs like the Senior Farmers Market program or any tribal WIC programs, we have space available here to track those. So everything's in one place. And these forms also come in physical and digital copies. And so if you don't need these extra columns, if your market doesn't do these other programs, feel free to edit them to meet your needs. But these Snap and Duo metrics are what we're looking for. And then this is an example of our vendor reimbursement record. And so after the market day, when you are counting the tokens that have been turned into you by vendors, we ask that you fill this out, or if you have a different way of tracking this already, at least that you add Duo to your tracking documents, because like I said, we are focusing on Snap and Duo primarily. And for this vendor reimbursement record, the amount of Duo total for the month is what the invoice amount would be, and then therefore the what amount would be redeemed to the farmer's market. And so for example, if the market was only open this one day of the month, and they accepted $62 in Duo here, they would note that on the report that they submit and then send Hunger Free an invoice for $62. We would reimburse the market for that, and then you would take that money and you would pay Firefly Farms their $40 and Jones Homestead their $22. We also ask on this page, or your other tracking records that you may have, that you tell us how you expect to pay your vendors, whether it's cash, check, cash, or ACH, and then provide those backup documentation records so we can confirm that they have been reimbursed. And so, yeah, those documents will be taken and submitted in our monthly report, which is through Smartsheet. The reports are due by the second Monday of each month, and there's a space for you to attach those records at the bottom and fill in the number of the value of the metrics that we talked about earlier. And then you can also attach the invoice for the month to this report, or you can email it to our double up at hungerfreeok.org email. Okay, so this section is going to be about how we equip the markets for success. Each year we have an annual in-person training that coincides with the Oklahoma Local Ag Summit. Um, it is in 2026, it's going to be at the Stony Creek Hotel Conference Center in Broken Arrow. And so we'll have our duo training on January 27th. It'll be in person and it is mandatory for all new and existing partner firms, at least to have one representative there. Um, and we really push to attend the required training, although we understand that it may not work with some people's schedules or something may come up last minute. And we always do have a backup training that is remote if you did miss this in-person training. But regardless of which one you attend, training is required annually. And Hunger Free does help with travel assistance if you needed that to attend the training. Um, Once we have details about when registration would open, we'll send out an email with more details about our duo training and details about travel arrangements in that email. So if you think that that's something you need to attend this training, please reach out and coordinate that with us. Um, Also in 2026, we will be launching a online duo training. It's called an LMS, just a learning management system. This training will be self-paced and will incorporate knowledge checks and real-time practice for filling out those reports that we looked at earlier. And so completing this training will also be required for each market's primary duo contact, just because we realize that some people learn better in different situations. So whether you learn better in person or whether you learn better kind of self-paced, we want to be able to meet your needs. So we'll require the primary point of contact to do both trainings. And then the cool thing about this training is also we've broken down some other market support roles. And so if you have someone at your market that only assists with like the reporting and the financing, for example, we've taken the important parts from the training and created a pathway so they can take that training that is specific to their role with Duo. Also, if you have volunteers or market staff that help you um, on market days with Duo, filling out those customer transaction records at your information tent. We've created a pathway for like day of market support, and so they can take those relevant trainings and courses that have to do with their role at the market and more focused on customer service than the Duo training as a whole. So we're excited to launch that in 2026 and see how that goes. And then we also provide a market manager guide and a physical copy and a digital copy. And in that guide, we have scripts, and it goes into a lot more detail about just all the things that the training touches on. It's all in this guide here. There are also three Hunger-Free Oklahoma staff that are dedicated to Duo. Leslie is our program director. I'm the senior program specialist, and then just recently we had a position open for our senior operations specialist. So we'll be accepting applications for that soon. This last position here primarily helps Leslie with the grocery stores, but there is also some overlap in the overall operations of Duo. So they do assist with the farm direct locations too. Um, would y'all like to talk about the assistance you provide?
Hey, yeah. well, many of you guys know me already, but I'm Meredith Scott, and I'm the director of ONI and the Oklahoma Local Ag Collaborative. And we are going to be helping this year, as we have for several years, in for site visits. We'll be scheduling. We're actually, our goal is to try to schedule all of our site visits at the annual meeting, so you really can plan ahead and think about it. We're going to be, when we go to your farmers market, we'll be having a checklist to see signage. We also will be and making sure, like, review a transaction, look at some of your documentation, at your processes, what you're doing, making sure that everything is going smoothly. Our goal is to try to assist and help and make the program work better at the farmers market. So we want to be your helpers um in that. And so another component of our site visit will be to document your market in a way that we can use for marketing purposes. We will be doing a lot of social media promotion, and we'll help you through things, but we want to make sure we have high quality photos of your market, of different products, of you guys, all the different things. And so that's one reason why we want to give you as much head notice as possible. So, wear your market t-shirt, like, have your nice tablecloth or whatnot, so that everything looks really good for your little photo shoot we're going to provide. Um, we also, so beyond the site visits, which I know some of the markets that are on here have experienced before, we'll also be helping you make sure that you have the materials needed. We work regularly with Hunger Free Oklahoma in that, like, we pick up materials for markets. Like, they know we're going to go to a market. We tell them ahead of time, and they're like, "Oh, can you get this to them? Can you do this?" So we want to be able to be your distribution site. We also will be hosting the quarterly manager meetings. These are required. They'll be coming through me. They're via Zoom outside of the one in January. Um, but the goal of these is to really, like, what's going on? How do we make sure that your market is up to date on going on like any new rules or processes? These are going to be even more important because SNAP Ed is no more. And because SNAP Ed is no more, we won't have a lot of communication for the SNAP part. So a lot of your updates related to SNAP will be through this means. And so I think that's something just to note, is that those quarterly meetings will probably have a bit more substance, because of that. There won't be like the regular communication like we've been providing in the past through SNAP education. And the people in this picture are the people who will be coming to your visit. Unfortunately, with the elimination of SNAP Ed, we did have to do a reduction of workforce, and so our team has gone down. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a these are our teammates that will be joining me in site visits. So, is there anything else, Kat, I missed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You talked about the social media, right? With the
Mhm.
taking photos at, okay, yeah.
And another big important thing about social media. If when once you apply to accept Duo and get accepted, we need to be Oni will need to become managers of your social media account. For the markets who have done it before, they probably can tell you it's worth it. We will go in and we'll do advertisements, help bring new people to your market. But one huge component is that you have to be a page, not a group. So to be able to accept, to be able to get the advertisement promotion for, this is not a only rule. This is a, like, Facebook rule. You can't do advertisement on groups. You can only do advertisement on Facebook pages. And so, uh, that's just something that we'll need to do, is on your Facebook page will be able to be added as an administrator so that we can make those posts. But we'll walk you through that.
Thanks, Meredith. Okay, this slide again just breaks down when to contact HFO versus ONI because during the market season, it can get confusing when you're working with both organizations. So if you have any questions about your monthly reports or invoices, if you're ever in need of more Duo tokens, if there is any market, vendor, or customer related issue with the Duo program, please reach out to Hunger Free so we can help you with those things and address any issue as soon as possible. Um, and then if you need any additional programming or marketing materials, if you have questions about your EBT machine, to coordinate and schedule the site visits, and then any questions about the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, you'll go to ONI. And then for both of us, this one here, if there's any change in the primary point of contact at your market, please let both organizations know. Or I guess you can just let one of us know, and we talk to each other regularly, so we'll fill each other in. But yeah, any changes, let us both know, please. Hunger Free has these materials available specifically to farmers markets that accept Duo. So we provide these customer flyers in English and Spanish. These are small, like half-page flyers that are come in a tear pad that you can tear off, and they give information about how SNAP works at the market and then lists what products are eligible for, sorry, not how Snap works, how Duo works at the market and list what projects are eligible for Duo. We also provide A-frame signs to put around the market that advertise Duo. And we have these posters available in English and Spanish. These are great to give to your vendors. It has a space at the bottom here where they can write in their farm name, or if you display these at the information booth, you can write the market hours on there, or if you hang these up at one of like your community partner locations, maybe a coffee shop or a restaurant that's near the market, you can put your market name here and the details in that white space below. These are all free materials, so you can just, if you ever need additional materials, you can reach out to Hunger Free and we'll mail them to your market, but we'll also bring a decent amount to our January training to get you started right off the bat. And then these ones are, again, some Duo materials, but these are more community outreach materials. And so this one that we kind of looked at earlier has how Double Up works at farmers markets and at grocery stores. We have some communities that have both kinds of locations. And so if you are in one of those, this might be a great option for you. And then we also have these bookmarks, like if you have a strong relationship with anybody at a local school and your market starts accepting Duo or library, this would be a cool marketing material that would be available. Okay, and now we're going to talk to some current Double Up market managers to get their perspective on a few things. I have a few questions that I've prepared, but then if you have thought of any questions throughout this presentation, you'll have an opportunity to ask those as well in just a minute. So today we have Lachelle Stanley from the Wellston Farmers Market, as well as Sonia Eubanks from the Duncan Farmers Market and Garden Hub joining us. Um, you can see here that Wellston has been participating since 2023, and the Duncan Farmers Market Hub has been participating as far as our records go back since 2020. Double Up was being managed by a different organization before it was taken over by Hunger Free, and so our records only go back so far. Um, but yeah, both these markets have some great experience, so thank you for joining us today. Um, my first question is for either whoever would like to take this question first, Sonia or Lachelle. How much time do you spend on average each week with reporting, with Duo reporting or Duo related tasks? That could be like counting your tokens or completing your paperwork, just any Duo related tasks. And do you find that time commitment reasonable?
So Since we're a farmers market hub, we the time doing duo is very reasonable. Um, and really the only time it takes is how long does it take to check somebody out? Um, so the the documents that we have to keep are very quick. You just write down their initials, we use their zip code, and it's very minimal, very easy to breeze through.
I would agree. It doesn't take very long for us to do it either, or for me, because we're on the smaller side of the market, and the forms we have, they're very detailed, so that makes it easy to fill out, and you have all your records there, and you can just get it done. It only takes me a couple hours a week to do it.
Yes. Do you find that like at the either end of the month or the beginning of the next month, depending on when you fill out your monthly report, that it takes a little bit longer those weeks, or is it about the same amount of time?
Um, it's about this. It depends on how long I procrastinate. If you get it done sooner, then it's easier when the report's due.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reasonable amount of time.
Um, so we looked at some of the resources that are provided by Hunger Free and offered by Oni in relation to Duo. And so, which resources have been the most helpful for your shoppers, your market shoppers?
I like the laminated signs that have all the logos for all the programs. Those are really helpful. And then I have made stickers of each colored token and I put them on those signs. So if we have customers who aren't able to read well, then they can look at the stickers and see, oh, I can shop here with this token. So, and the vendors seem to like that too. They say that really helps them too.
So with us being an indoor hub, um, it's just a matter of training our cashiers. And so we like the tear off flyers
Mhm.
that we give the customers, new customers that they can take and have, reference back to them. But I've also made a quick little glance thing for our cashiers so they know what token can be spent for what to keep it straight.
Yeah, I know that a lot of our farmers markets, just with all the nutrition programs that they can be participating in, a lot of them have adopted that kind of cheat sheet for their vendors or for, in your case, Sonia, the cashiers, because yeah, at markets it can, or on a busy day, it can get overwhelming to when people are
Right.
coming up with you with multiple different payment methods, and so having the cheat sheet there has been really helpful. Um, so both of your markets have been participating in Duo for several years now, and I was wondering if you could share any of the impacts that participating in Duo has had on your vendors or your communities.
But now with the snap shutdowns, we've seen a lot more people bringing in the duo tokens,
Hmm.
um, and they're very grateful. You can tell they're very appreciative, and it's just we've seen more people turning them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. When shoppers come in and they're like, "Oh, I can use my Snap here," and then I tell them about the Duo program, they get even more excited because that will make their dollars last longer, and maybe they can buy stuff at the market that they didn't want to buy at the grocery store. They'd rather shop at the farmers market because it's always fun to shop at the farmers market. And then my vendors are just great because they all always agree to take every food program we do, and they're just really proud and community oriented, so that really helps as well.
Awesome. Um, Does anybody else on the call have any questions for Lachelle or for Sonia? Not right now. Okay, well,
Mhm.
if one pops up, we still have a few more things to get through, and then some open questions at the end. So thank you both again for sharing your experience and your perspective as duo market managers. Y'all have done a great job, and yeah, make it look super easy. Okay, so the timeline for new markets applying to accept Double Up in 2026. Um, Earlier this week, Bailey sent an email with the link to the Double Up application. It is open currently, and so it will remain open until December 5th. And we will take some time to review all applications that are submitted. And then Hunger Free will notify each applicant of their status by December 15th. So you can have time to make your plans for next year and know before going into Christmas and New Year's what your status is. Just wanted to make a note that applying does not guarantee acceptance. Since our program is funded by grants, it will be dependent on, the number of applicants, um, our overall program budget with what markets are returning next year, um, and the location of your market among those are just a few of the things that we'll look at. Um, but yeah, just wanted to make that note. And also, I don't think I've said it before, but current participating markets don't need to apply more than like again, like once you've applied once and been accepted, you're good to accept Duo until you choose not to, if that happened. Um, but yeah, the application is currently open. If you feel like you are eligible to apply this year and you did not receive the email with the link to the application, please let us know either in the chat or you can reach out to us outside of this meeting and we will send you the link to the application. The required in-person training will be on January 27th at OKLAS in Broken Arrow. And so again, we'll send out information for registering and RSVPing for that training. And then in February, we'll be sending out our double up contracts to each market point of contact. To run Duo, it requires a yearly contract, just agreeing to those responsibilities that we outlined earlier in this meeting. And then once the contracts are signed, we will distribute the tokens and any marketing materials to get you started for the 2026 season. And so just wanted to make a note that if your market is a year-round market, then the earliest that you could probably start running Duo in 2026, if accepted, would be like late February to beginning of March timeframe. And then how to apply again, emails went out, but if you didn't receive an email with the link, then please let us know and we will,
I
oh,
think
go ahead.
everybody on the call got the email or should
Okay,
have received the email. If you did not receive the email, we have the wrong email address for you.
great. Thanks for confirming that, Meredith. So yeah, to apply, you'll just follow that application link in the email. With the email, we attached a PDF of the questions that are in the application. And some of the questions, there's some like logic with the application. So the PDF has all the questions, but depending on if you answer yes or no to some things, you may not get all the questions. Um, but we wanted to give you all the information so you're prepared because once it's started, you can't save it and then come back and pick up later. It has to be filled out all at once, or else you'll lose your progress and have to start over. Um, but it asks for your market organization info. You'll want to have your FNS number and your designation, your market location, and your primary contact informations. If you have a different fiscal organization that helps with your market management, and it's a different contact than the primary duo contact, you'll want to provide their information, and then the start and end dates of your market season. We'll also ask for SNAP data from the year prior. So this will be up to probably October, maybe September of 2025. The number of employees or volunteers your market has, a description of how you train your employees in relation to SNAP and Duo. Um, and yeah, if you're a traditional farmer's market, your vendor reimbursement process. And I think that ONI, if you are needing to find your SNAP data, if you have a state issued EBT machine, they can help you get that data.
We'll give you a past report for the year.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this webinar. And here is the HFO and ONI contacts. But yeah, we have about 10 minutes left. And so if there's any questions um, about any parts of this webinar, feel free to ask them now.
This is Bobby. Um, so I understand this $20 a day, so they can come multiple times. Is there a limit?
It's 20, like, so most of, for example, for Sonia's Farm Hub that operates daily, the SNAP customers can earn up to $20 a day. Once they've hit their $20 a day Duo limit, they can't earn any more Duo, but they can still make additional SNAP purchases and take more SNAP off their card. And then the next day they can come back if they choose and they can earn up to $20 of Duo again. Or if it's a traditional market that is held weekly, then each market day they can earn um, up to $20 in Duo.
Right. Okay. Um, I'm not seeing the application, Meredith, just as a heads up. I kind of went back on my phone to see if I could see it. I didn't see it. But maybe I'm not looking for the right heading. I don't know on that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll make sure I have your email address. I should have your email address. We've emailed before,
I know.
but let's just confirm that. If you could type it in the chat just to confirm.
Is it the farmonfish@gmail.com?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and forward it to you and let me
Okay.
know if you don't receive it after that.
Okay. And I don't really think I need a report from the EBT machine, but Meredith, I think you told us where we could get that if we wanted it. And you were cut off partly, so I couldn't hear that whole reply.
Yeah, so we can pull a report for you from your full year. We just we already have your FNS numbers, and so we can do that for you. It won't be too much work. And then if you it does do you want us to do that for you?
You can. I mean,
Okay.
I think I probably have it. It's not real difficult because we got started kind of late, so
Okay.
by the time they got us up